Hey there, this morning I'm back. And I hope each and every one of you are doing well. I hope I will not be boring you with another day in the life of the online leftist. I really would like to have a little bit of subtle, like soft organ music in the background so it could sound like one of those old school 1950s, 1960s soap opera with a little soft organ sound as everybody gets all melodramatic with each other. Um, if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go online and go on YouTube and search for 1960s, 1950s soap opera, 1960s soap opera. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, before I get to what I'm talking about, I feel like sharing some more insight on that kind of trivia. If you're not familiar with Dark Shadows from the 1960s, not the Johnny Depp movie from 2012, but the original Dark Shadows from the 1960s, Barnabas Collins, the vampire, that's TV series. Dark Shadows was considered not just horror and mystery, but it was also considered a soap opera. They had a full symphony doing background music. That's how a lot of the soap operas from then on to this day, you have a full symphony and not hearing that like soft organ music like you used to hear. Now, I'm sorry, I'm getting off track. It's a fault of mine. Let me start talking about the online drama um, of the online left. I could sit there and tell you what all that's going on in the back and forth fight between Aaron Tay and Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian and all of them drawing Jimmy Dore into this fight and then pulling Glenn Greenwald in and then pulling Kyle Kulinski in and then eventually your Fiorella Isabel gets pulled in. I mean, it's just really weird how this whole thing just keeps spiraling and spiraling and spiraling. Uh, and it's just kind of like in what happened previous to this episode. Y'all remember when Sam Cedar and Ethan Klein, sabotaged Steven Crowder, which hey, I still say good for those two because that damn Steven Crowder had a have it coming to him. But anyway, yeah, it's just kind of funny. Just when you think about it, compare it to a soap opera, it's really some serious business. So, I was watching Heartlands Media the other day, and if you're not familiar with Heartlands Media, they're a news outfit from Chicago, kind of like a network of sorts. And I am going to go and put the link. I'm going to write a little note for myself because I'm going to make sure Heartlands Media will be a link for y'all to go subscribe to if you haven't subscribed to them yet. Same thing with the dive with Jackson Hinkle because he's pretty good. I've been listening to a lot of Jackson Hinkle lately, so I'm going to put a link down for him as well. So I'm writing that down as a reminder. So when this video is over, I'm gonna quickly edit it so they're they're listed. There, so you can go ahead and sign up, or excuse me, subscribe and hit the notification bell for them. And if you haven't hit the notification bell, subscribe for me. Here's your chance to do it. Getting back to what I was saying, Heartlands Media. As I said, they're a local Chicago outfit doing leftist news themselves and independent media. And I listen to them from time to time. And I'm pretty impressed with what they do. Um, they were discussing Kyle Kulinski's departure from TYT. And the thing about it is that they came up with the conclusion that what you're seeing are three competitive camps within the online left. Three main competitive camps. Got the mainline Young Turks. because the Young Turks kind of started it all. You got the Young Turks, and this is kind of my uh, projecting into what they're saying. But you got the Young Turks, and then you got people who are not affiliated with the Young Turks. That's my projection saying this, that would orbit around the Young Turks. And I would guess that Sam Cedar's Majority Report, I would imagine the David Pakman Show, um, people like that. I would say, Ben Dixon. I would say Progressive Voice, David Dole from Rational National. All of those folks will more or less orbit around the Young Turks because they're going to try to present themselves in a way that's going to be a little more palatable for the mainstream. Nominiki Kantz is another such person. All those folks are going to more or less coalesce around the Young Turks. Then you got the Jimmy Dore camp, which is a more radical turn toward the left. Some people say Jimmy Dore's right wing. I disagree. Jimmy Dore is very left wing, and in his camp, you will see people like like Ron Placone. You'll see people like Nico House, the Mikasa Sakasa Network, Frank Analysis, the Convo Couch featuring Pierre Elizabeth, and Craig Pasadula. I would even say Jamal Thomas would be in that camp. Um, they will orbit more or less around that camp, and that's and they offer an insight that's a little more on the radical left. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. Um, they're to my left. All of them are to my left, but I appreciate their perspective. Slow News Day, all those folks. I think that they more or less will orbit around the Jimmy Dore camp. Then you have Kyle Kulinski working with Crystal Ball and what looks like the nucleus of a new network being created. That's what it looks like. And that's what they were speculating on Heartlands Media. I would say that Heartlands Media would probably be closer to the Jimmy Dore camp as well. With regard to Kyle Kulinski and Crystal Ball, I think that they would probably have some of their like-minded allies orbiting around them as well. And 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 I think they take sort of more or less a middle path. And I would probably throw in Brianna Joya Gray's program, Bad Faith. Brianna Joy Gray, what's his name from Chapwood Trap House, Virgil, Texas. I think that they would probably orbit around with Kyle Kulinski and Crystal Ball. Is more or less what I think would happen. Um, and I think there'll be, I certainly think the Amazing Atheist. I know he's not particularly a fan of Crystal Ball, but I know he's on friendly terms with Kyle Kulinski, and I think that some of these people would orbit around where he's at. I would also include probably Jordan Sheridan. I think his status quo would sort of orbit around between Kyle Kulinski and Jimmy Dore. Same thing with Glenn Greenwald. I think his program would he's now doing a lot more YouTube. He'll kind of bounce between, I would guess, Glenn Greenwald. I mean Jimmy Dore and Kyle Kulinski. Um, and I would like to see Chew on Head thrown in there in the middle of this, and I think she probably will orbit more around Kyle Kulinski and Crystal Ball. So this is what I see is happening. I see um, basically three competing left wing networks. And I think that Crystal Ball and Kyle Kulinski will be more or less in the middle between, let's say, the way the Young Turks do their thing and the way Jimmy Dore will do his thing. And that's how I'm seeing it and all of that. Um, and I'm also guessing or speculating that that will be the new arrangement when it comes to the online left. Now, I that those differences can be healthy, and obviously there are roadblocks in a way too. But I would say and caution, or excuse me, err on the side of three competing networks would be overall a positive thing. But one can also say, is TYT still on the left anymore? Um, that's a good question. If they're if they're tossing out Washington D.C. consensus politics and talking points and putting kind of a semi-progressive, semi-anti-establishment, veneer on them, is it for real? That's the big question. But anyway, if you're not familiar with the dive with Jackson Hinkle, I highly recommend his program. I discovered his program pretty recently, and I'm pretty impressed with what he's got to say and everything. So he was on, I guess it was yesterday's show. I was listening to it at work last night, and apparently Kyle Kulinski might have been canned from the Young Turks instead of quitting, as people were speculating, and people were giving all kinds of opinions about Kyle Kulinski, saying, "Oh, he was a coward because of this and this and that," and some people be like, "Oh, it's a bold move that he made," and so anyway, basically, either way, I do think that Kyle Kulinski's departure is a positive development for him and his ideological brand. An ideological brand, and I consider myself small potatoes person, but just as far as ideological perspective, is a brand that I identify more with. I would say that I identify with his brand, Crystal Ball's brand, more than Jimmy Dore's. But Jimmy Dore's brand, I also identify with. TYT's in a different universe at this point. I mean, they're almost CNN, if not CNN already. Um, and that's where I stand. But as I said, I was listening to Jackson Hinkle last night, and I will share you his insight. And before I do, um, as I said, I'm planning to update this channel. I'm trying to figure how StreamYards work, and so um, you're going to see a more impressive looking channel once I figure out how StreamYards work. Can't wait. But until then, you're just going to have to listen to some of these people. So here we go. Hold on there. This is from yesterday's show. Kyle Kulinski forced out of the Young Turks by Cenk Uygur? Question mark.
The other day, I did a stream where I announced to all of you that Kyle Kulinski had left the Young Turks. I jumped the gun a little bit in saying that he left voluntarily, and that showed that he had good principle. And I insinuated that he left, and it showed that he was principled, and he was standing with the likes of Jimmy Dore and Aaron Mate by refusing to continue to associate himself with Young Turks. Now, I want to show you the video I used to come to that conclusion. Again, I jumped the gun. I got the story wrong, I think, and I got to correct the record. So, unfortunately, the story's even worse. The story's even worse than what I initially, took away from it. So let's go back and watch the actual video of Cenk Uygur announcing that Kyle Kulinski was no longer affiliated. As you will hear, he does not say that Kyle Kulinski left voluntarily from the Young Turks. So let's check it out.
Matthew H. asked, been watching you since 2014. Just wondering when you'll have people like Kyle or Vosh on the Friday Power Panel. So I honestly, I don't know enough about Bosch, but I'll look into him more. I know that he got involved in some of these controversies, but and we have people on from the network, and our guest hosts more often. Kyle is no longer part of the network, and so
he said Kyle's no longer part of the network. Now, what's interesting about this is the questioner was asking when Kyle or Bosch will be a part of the Young Turks Friday Power Panel. You don't have to be a member of the Young Turks network to be a part of their Friday Power Panel. So it's a bit weird that Cenk Uygur would be saying that, Kyle's no longer affiliated with us, insinuating that, we're not going to have him on again, even on our Friday Power Panels, because he's not on the Young Turks network. So continue to listen. Again, he doesn't say that Kyle left voluntarily.
He says that he disagrees with us on some policy issues. It is what it is. Good luck to him. And let's see if he can placate the people he's trying to placate. My guess is it'll end in disaster. It has already started in disaster, and probably will head in that direction.
So the other thing I noted was that it was very clear that for Cenk to end this relationship between Kyle Kulinski, Secular Talk, and the Young Turks that they've had for 12 years, I'd imagine around 12 years, maybe 10 years, like this, was very, very low. Like, for him to end their relationship like this, it's a low jab. To not give Kyle the send off of saying, like, we appreciated all the years we had, and he does great work, and we hope he continues to do that great work moving forward. And it wasn't anything like that. He's saying he's dissing Kyle throughout this whole thing. Oh my God, Kyle's chosen a different side, and he's trying to placate certain voices, not acknowledge that Kyle might just have his own opinions on the matter, might disagree with the Young Turks have been doing. He's like, he's just trying to placate certain voices, and it shows what type of person he is. I mean, it's very low jabs coming here from Cenk, but again, doesn't say that Kyle left voluntarily.
So we've had Kyle on many times before, and we had a great relationship with him. We've done many shows with him and supported him. Nowadays, though, he seems to be going in a different direction. Everybody's free to make their own choices.
Everyone's able to make their own choices. He seems to be going in a different direction, Cenk Uygur says. So I reacted to that clip, and I thought it was pretty clear that Kyle had chosen to leave the Young Turks, but I jumped the gun. I think I may have gotten the story wrong. I at least insinuated something that wasn't clear. And I have someone who has many inside sources at TYT who reached out to me and said, my inside sources at TYT tell me Kyle did not leave voluntarily, that as soon as he dropped that video about the Young Turks and Cenk Uygur, calling out their bullshit, Cenk started procedures to get him off the network. This does.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry it took a little while. And as I said, when I get that StreamYards working and figuring it out, you shall be seeing my ugly mug, and you should see whatever video I'm needing to have reference, or the person that I'm talking to in an interview or actual chat session. So anyway, I apologize for having to listen to that and looking at me looking all silly and everything until then. I digress. Just a point of just a correction, and they said this on a couple of programs dealing with this issue, Kyle Kulinski, and so did Jackson Hinkle just now. The Secular Talk Kyle Kulinski show officially started in 2008. In 2008, it was not part of the Young Turks as of yet. It became part of the Young Turks in 2013. So a lot of people are saying, well, they go back to the year 2008. No. The Secular Talk started in 2008. It affiliated with the Young Turks in 2013. So I with Cenk Uygur basically explaining the situation with Kyle Kulinski. You compare his talk or what he had to say about Jimmy Dore when he left the Young Turks, and they left him amicable terms, positive terms, seemingly anyway. Um, Wishing each other the best of luck and everything. You heard Jimmy Dore say nice attitudes about the Young Turks when he parted ways with them. You heard Shank Uger did the same thing for Jimmy Dore on his on TYT itself. Even Dave Rubin, they parted ways on positive terms until Dave Rubin became a jackass neocon, a grifter that he is. But but anyway, I just wanted to go and have that clarified right there. But man, if that's the case, if Hank Uger really did fire Kyle Kulinski, then I don't care what happens to the Young Turks. I mean, they can go to hell as far as I'm concerned. They are CNN, they are MSNBC, they are Fox News in a very, very, very Rockefeller Republican mood. For you youngers out there, look up the term Nelson Rockefeller or Rockefeller Republicanism. You'll be surprised. But anyway, yeah, he left. He left the TYT, and it's not a loss for Kyle Kulinski. It's a loss for TYT, and I'll say that. And TYT's lost their brand. Um, they lost their way. And when I was saying who will orbit around the Young Turks, I will make a prediction that Bosch will also orbit around the Young Turks out of the three camps. That is my prediction there. But I wouldn't be surprised in the next year or so that Shank Uger and Anna Kasparian would be having their meltdown again, and they're going to start calling Kyle Kulinski a Russian asset or a Russian agent or an Assad apologist or something. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't put it past them at this point because anyone they don't like, they're a Russian asset. I mean, it's so ridiculous. Calling people a Russian asset. I mean, that the Russia allegations is the liberal version of birtherism by the right, or Benghazi by the right. They throw around Benghazi, or they say that Obama is a secret Muslim, and on the left, the fake left rather, the TYT crowd and the mainstream Democrats and the corporate Democrats will tell you anything they don't like is polluted with Russian influence, Vladimir Putin, and all that. Donald Trump is a piece of shit, but I don't particularly think he was politically in bed with Vladimir Putin. Uh, Donald Trump is Donald Trump. Well, I think he's not smart enough to try to go and do that, and I think that they would think he's too stupid to go and find useful, or being a useful idiot or what have you. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about that. And as I said, I'm going to put down the link for Harlan's Media, and I'm going to put down the link for the dive with Jackson Hinkle, and I will come back again and share another commentary with you. I will. If you like what you heard, press like and comment. If you disagree with what I have to say, comment anyway. We'll have a conversation. Feel free to share the content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to go and create your own platform and utilize it, because we're all the muckrakers of our time. Feel free also to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because we're all, so you can get the hard-hitting social democratic commentary by yours truly, American Social Democracy. Peace. Class struggle yesterday, class struggle today, class struggle tomorrow, and class struggle until we achieve full economic and social justice in our time.